Well, it wasn't because of Uno, but the Dolphins did come away with a win, beating the New England Patriots, making Tua now 4-0 against the Bill Belichick-led New England Patriots. Football is still going on. Everything is crazy. People are getting either beat in fantasy, winning tremendously in fantasy. Everyone's days are either ruined or complete. But us, we come away with a win as the Miami Dolphins are able to beat the New England Patriots. It was a game, I think we could say that it was a game. It was cool, I guess. How do you guys feel? And I'll start with you, 416J.
Hey, I'm vibing, dude. A win is a win. I thought there was definitely some things we could improve on for sure. Obviously it's week one though, so I feel like to get a win, even though I felt like it wasn't the cleanest game from our side of the football, I thought that was really good. And honestly, the fact that we dominated as much as we did in the first half, and again, I felt like there were still so many things we could have done better. And obviously, we will have to do better against some better teams. But the fact that we did not as poorly as we did, but the fact that we played how we did, and we still found a way to win pretty convincingly. Where I believe the only points they scored was on a bad call. So the fact that that's the case and we pretty much shut them out, like shout out to this defense, man. Like I'll be honest, that cohesion, like you can see it, they're back, they're running the zero blitz, not as much obviously because you don't have Byron Jones, but you love to see it, man. I just think obviously it's week one, so I think we need to take it with a grain of salt. I think the preparation will all be cleaned up. But with all that in mind, I thought it was a good win, man. A win is a win is a win in the NFL, and I'll take it every single day of the week.
Sorry, because I'm doing some other stuff in the background. JMV, you're in the shoe heaven there. Your thoughts on the Dolphins game against Patriots?
Well, I'm happy. Look, listen. First, shout out to the Chicago Bears. All right, we're not 1-0 today. We went 2-0. That was a huge win for the Dolphins fan base, and that top pick that we need. Aside from that, this was Tua's best game against the New England Patriots. So we can say that, with confidence when you break down his 4 games against him. This was definitely his best. He was not good. He was pretty average. He made some good throws. When he got pressured, he was a little careless with the ball. That was a ball that should have been picked that he shouldn't have thrown in the first place. And a few times that instead of throwing it away or taking the sack, he got reckless with it. At the end, he should have ran and slid, keep the time going, and he threw a ball into the middle of the field for no reason. But aside from that, a win is a win in the NFL. The defense played well. Shout out to Josh Boyer. And the run game was non-existent for most of the game. That has me worried.
Yeah, it was non-existent for the most of the game. It was non-existent for pretty much the entire game. I don't think even
Yeah.
calling some trash run time, or run game, on that downtime should even count. Nando, first game, first win. It wasn't because of Uno. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I mean, a win is a win, let alone against Bill Belichick. I'll take it. 1-0 to start the season. I love it. Tua had me a little bit concerned there at the end, man. It seemed like he played an average game, but he was ready to throw that game away with those potential turnovers there. Like, I was just like, damn, you got to learn how to either just take the sack. If you're going down already, there's no need to force any issue. I want to see more from the run game, like everyone on here said. I mean, Chase Edmonds, 12 carries for 25 yards. I see here Mostert have 5 carries for 16, and one of those was an 11-yard run, so really non-existent. Tyreek Hill, though, that dude's a baller. I mean, this guy catches everything. I mean, without Tyreek Hill, Tua's stats don't even look the way it looks like right now. So credit to Tyreek Hill, credit to this defense though, forcing those turnovers. And how about that man, how you say
Toho.
his Kohu? I mean, man, he is like awesome. He was awesome. I like that kid. He's better than Noah. Sorry, my guy Juan, but we got to start pushing that. Shout out to Cater, man. He balled the hell out today.
Yeah, he really balled out, and I do want to interrupt this Dolphins talk to say, excuse me, that Jamar Chase has officially scored a touchdown. In all actuality, it is triple zeros. It is 20-20, and as I say that, also Baker Mayfield almost fumbled the game away as they're only down 2 in the red zone against the Cleveland Browns, 23-21. So the Steelers, who even knows what the hell is going on with them, because it just seems like they had the game in the bag and now they're about to lose, which is quite odd. I rack on Tua and I say this about Tua bad, Tua this, and just kind of as a joking manner. But how do you guys feel? And I'll start with you, JMB, just because I feel like out of the 4 of us, I'm the most, hypocrite or not hypocritical, but the most critical about Tua. How do you feel about his game? Obviously, you've been saying all game to myself and Threat and Kendall that he had an okay game while we've been saying it was really bad. How do you honestly feel?
Nah, he made some good throws. My biggest criticism with Tua, I'm not asking you to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm not asking you to be Josh Allen or one of the top 5 quarterbacks, but I'm asking you to be a very good game manager. Take care of the ball. We need to move the ball consistently, whether it be 4 yards, 5 yards, 6, 7 at a time. It doesn't matter. And eventually that'll open up the deep shot, which he didn't take today, by the way. But I'm just asking you to be a game manager and not throw the game away. And today he made a lot of mistakes that could have gone worse. And luckily for us, they didn't. They dropped the pick. There was another one that he threw to the floor that could have potentially been a pick. That's where I stand with Tua. But all in all, it was his best performance against the Patriots. This is his 4th time, and it's the first game of the season. There's a lot of rust all over the NFL. Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow threw 3 or 4 interceptions. That's not a guy he's not going to do that again this year. Everybody's got rust in the first game. So I just want to see consistent improvement throughout the year and keep the turnovers down, take care of the ball, hold the damn football. And when the pressure comes, don't go crazy.
So I am going to take you out of here really quick, JMV, just because your mic is a little bit messed up. I mean, very messed up. Also want to note that Minkah Fitzpatrick just blocked the game tying extra point.
Yeah, and you
in
know?
the
game winning. That was the
Steelers
game winning.
It is very bad, JMV. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. So we'll just take you out of here for now. Yeah, I'm as shocked as you are.
That's crazy.
Looks like it was a clean hole, clean snap. He just got through, and so that game will go to overtime. The Steelers getting bailed out by Minkah Fitzpatrick, which is insane to think of. Nando, football is happening everywhere. I mean, how do you feel about Tua's play? As we'll try to focus on that specifically.
Tua's play, I thought, like I said, I thought it was a very average start. I do like that he is. I like that there wasn't any turnovers, but there was risk of turnovers. Obviously, you saw the fumble. Thankfully, Connor Williams was able to pounce on that. Him not knowing how to throw the ball away or taking a sack towards the end in that 4th quarter. I don't like that we only scored 3 points in the second half. So I'm doing a little bit of nitpicking here. At the end of the day, I'm still glad we got a W against the New England Patriots, a division rival team, Bill Belichick coach team who had a whole offseason to prepare. I mean, he put up stats. I mean, you can give a lot of credit to Tyreek Hill there, but I can't. I gotta see another week, and I know that this is always what we say about Tua, like, oh, let me see another game, but no turnovers at the end of the day. Over 250 yards, you gotta win. I'll take it, but let's see what he can do against the team next week that we got to play, and that's a tough ass team in the Baltimore Ravens. So I think we'll be able to say a lot more about Tua's game and see if there's any improvements next week. I think we'll be able to see a whole lot more next week.
Yeah, I think so as well. Jay, I'm gonna bring you in here, but I do want to mention that I don't think of anything, even with poor play, good play regardless. None of us are like Juan, right? I mean, Juan is out here with his children. The Dolphins just won, and he's tweeting about all this stuff. We're not like Juan, right? Can we all agree this at least?
No way. Juan is one of a kind.
He's definitely
one
one
of
of
one,
one,
bro.
Like he is definitely one of one. Jay, Tua, how do you feel?
I hate to do it just because we're on a show, but I agree with Nando. It was just very average. Listen, I thought he didn't make mistakes until the end, so that was good. I thought he was a lot better over the middle in the intermediate when he's going to a guy like Jaylen Waddle. I thought their chemistry really showed out on that. Obviously on that 1 touchdown pass, but also in that 4th quarter, which helped solidify the game. So I like that from him. Obviously, we know what he needs to work on. I would also say, man, I was really expecting more from this offensive line, to be honest with you, just because the Patriots have Matt Judon, but outside of that, it's a bunch of guys who are just solid. So when we go up against guys who have elite pass rushers, we're going to go face TJ Watt, against the Steelers. We're going to face a lot of good pass rushers this year. I really need to see this offensive line kind of stay up to par, because if it doesn't, dude, it's going to be exactly what we saw last year. And I'm sure all of us don't want to see that. So that's what I'm trying to see in terms of the offensive line. I thought still Tua did okay. Again, it was just average. There's not much to say, really. He did what he needed to do to win. So we didn't win because of him. We won with him, but I don't think there was a reason to kind of win because of him in this game. I thought we just the defense held up, and the offense just did what they needed to do. The run game didn't really do that much, and Tua kind of help that out with his passing game. Obviously, the short routes were nice. Tyreek Hill was really good underneath and all that type of stuff. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, I think Tua missed a couple guys open down the field, which will happen. But I think for week 1, average game, we'll see what happens next week, like Nando said.
Royal, I bring you in here and assume that you're going to be the one to make sure and stink on the Dolphins offense. Is this true?
I don't know if you want to call it stink so much as tell you guys the truth about what you just sat there and watched.
Tell them the truth.
Sure, you sat there and you watched Tua Tagovailoa be the same quarterback that he was last year. That's essentially what we just sat through and watched. And yeah, the numbers look better, but he looked like he was only reading one side of the field for a lot of the game. He was staring down Tyreek, as evident by the number of targets he had versus every other receiver on the field. He was off a lot in this game. He missed some easy throws. He threw some ducks. He looked like the same player that people have grown accustomed to bashing on there. So I don't want to take away from the fact that the Dolphins offense is improved from what we saw last year, but Tua as a player, I didn't see enough growth in what he did in order to kind of like get on this bandwagon that we're watching a new player. So overall, the running game still looked shitty until the end of the game. Like it picked up a little bit later on, but it was still a struggle to run the ball. If you guys didn't have Tyreek Hill on this team, would you have won?
Absolutely not. I don't think so.
And that's kind of
even with Tyreek Hill, I think and
your offense put up 13 points. Like, so I mean, I want you guys to enjoy this win. I want.
Oh, here's the thing. Here and sorry to interrupt there. Here's the thing. I don't enjoy this win. I think that's the thing for me is like I'm not enjoying this. I'm not sitting here thinking to myself like, oh, this is all great and sunshine and rainbows. Like, this was an ugly win. It was a bad win. And I know we talked about in the pregame spaces and the halftime spaces, how we're going to win. Does it matter how we win? And I thought no. I think a couple of us kind of said like a win is a win. I know, Royal, you mentioned that very clearly.
Yeah.
But that felt a lot like week 1 last year. That felt a lot like 17-16. And we won by more than that. But it felt a lot like that game. And it felt a lot like, staring down one guy, Devontae Parker, had, slant touchdown, that really won the game, fumble and close to the end zone on the Patriots. It just didn't feel like a solid win. And we are facing a much, much better team that did struggle early with the Jets today, but they're not going to be like that next week against us. Jay, any thoughts on, I guess, just kind of how you're feeling going into next week?
I just think when you have a first-time head coach and so implementing a new system, you have a young offensive line, it got beat up too. I just think that there's things obviously that I didn't love, but I think it's stuff that can be cleaned up. I don't think it's something that's out of the ordinary where it's like, okay, we're just fucked like going into it. I think it's something that we can clean up for sure. So that's what we have to see. The thing is, will we clean it up is the question. That's what we're going to get our answer next week. I think it's some procedural issues. There was something like that in the game as well. But I just think it's going to be something where if we can clean it up, really get accustomed to this new system that Mike McDaniel's implementing. Obviously, we saw the offensive line a little bit struggling with that run blocking to the outside. Obviously, when Moshe Edmonds did find that hole, it was good. But other than that, it was really unfortunate. So I think it's just something where we're going to have to clean up those sort of things. And we'll see if we can do that later in the year. I got a
little bit of pushback for you because when you're talking about cleaning up, like what exactly are you talking about cleaning up? Are you talking about cleaning up Tua's bad decision making?
No, because he's had those. You're right. He's had those bad throws. Like he has like 1 or 2 bad throws where it's like, dude, what are you doing? So obviously I want to see that be better. And like obviously that's been going back since his rookie season where he has 1 bad throw, like horrible throw a game. But I just meant more like I thought Mike McDaniel's play calling. It wasn't horrible. Again, I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just saying things like that where I feel like he's just getting used to being a head coach and the initial play caller. I think he can clean up a little bit some of that stuff. Obviously, I think Tua can clean up some of his game. He missed 10 throws, and I thought there was a couple drops there too, but I also thought there was throws that he just left out on the field that he didn't throw. And obviously, the box score is not going to show that. So I think there's just things that he can read the field a little bit better, clean things up, and obviously, I think the run game would help because I thought on a lot of the play actions, there's a lot of times where the Patriots kind of knew that was happening. Like they kind of played for the bootleg and for the play action. It's like, well, if we have a run game, they can't play for it as much. So I think that's going to be really important in setting up that play action, because it seemed like Tua was getting under pressure really quickly when he was rolling out, which, again, partially you want Tua to be able to throw on the run, but also if we can get that run game going, that will make the play action that much better.
Cade York, by the way, just hit a 59-yard field goal to put the Browns up against the Panthers. I don't know about you guys, but I never saw Jacoby Brissett even get close to leading us towards field goal range last year, in order to almost win a game. 8 seconds left. It looks like they're going to win. But I was laughing. We'll bring in JMV in a little bit because he's here as well. But I was laughing when I initially saw this man join the StreamYard. His outfit is ridiculous. He's wearing shades indoors. But he is here to smoke the Pats pack. Alex, the floor is yours.
Kidding me? Mac Jones looking like a fucking bum back there, bro. San Francisco, I'm rocking the Giants hat because you're giving us a top 5 pick this year. Losing to Chicago? Could this have been a better day, fellas? We come in here, we make Mac Jones look like the bitch that he is. We come in here, Tyreek Hill takes care of business, Jaylen Waddle takes care of business, Tua looks whatever, so we can still debate for the content. Isn't this the best way the game could have possibly gone? Isn't this the best way it could have gone? Like, let's be real here, okay? Defense showed out. Josh Boyer didn't look like a complete pansy calling the play calls. Thank God, because they were running the ball all over our ass the first half of the game. But we got it figured out. Shout out 28, bro. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Justin Bethel.
Bro,
this man is so much better than Noah. I can't even put it into words. I think at every single aspect of the game of football, he's better than Noah. He's probably better than Nick Needham at this point. And I'm just going to reiterate again. This is nothing new because Matt Patricia and Joe Judge were calling plays for the Patriots. This is what should have happened. I thought the offense left a lot of points on the board. I'm very excited that we started 1-0, and there's room to improve. I'm glad that we didn't play our best football, and we still absolutely smacked the shit out of the Patriots today. That's why I'm happy right now.
You should be. It's a win. A win is a win. We should always be happy with a win.
So, Kai, I'm going to bow out gracefully. I saw the lineup was short, and so I decided to jump in here for a few seconds, but you guys got the whole team here. You about to bring JMV back in here, so I will bid you guys adieu. Have a good show, you guys.
Thank you.
You the man.
As one man goes, the other man comes through. That was perfect, Alex. JMV, we're going to give it a test run number 3 here. Is your microphone working?
It should be. Can you hear me?
There we go. Bless
Yes,
the
sir.
Lords. We can hear JMV. Now your altered thoughts about what this game was.
No, as I was saying, when it comes to Tua, I'm not asking this man to be Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or any of the top quarterbacks in the league. I'm strictly asking you to be a game manager. You got a lot of playmakers.
Joe Burrow
on this.
threw 4 interceptions today, bro.
I was gonna get to that. In the sense that it is week 1. All right, a lot of people are, there's a lot of work to clean up. There's a lot of, as you said, Burrow threw 4 interceptions. That's not gonna happen again in the rest of the year. I think he had a fumble too. But aside from that, Tua was very average. When pressure came, he got a little crazy with it. I need you to calm down when the pressure's coming. Don't make bad decisions. Don't throw it up like you do that one, as 416 said, that 1 or 2 bad throw a game. That you got to clean that up. That can't happen. Manage the game. At the end of the game, there was a minute left. This guy was rolling out to his left, and he decided to throw it to Waddle into the dirt instead of getting the first down, slide, and let the clock keep timing down. But as Alex said, we got to win. It was a kill, and we did not play good by any means. The defense played well, though. Josh Boyer, shout out to him. And as he's rocking on the hat, shout out to the Bears in San Francisco.
How are we? I guess another like general question is, look, Mike McDaniel's talking. He's saying that that's the most calm that he's been in any NFL game, which I find shocking. There's no way that you can sit there and really be calm like that. But maybe Mike McDaniel's just built different. Nando, like, it has to be better next week. We can't go into a game like that, especially the run game. Who knows if J.K. Dobbins is back for the Ravens? Just Lamar on his own is just an insane athlete. They're going to have to pay him a ridiculous amount of money once it comes time, or he'll be on the Dolphins. How do you see the adjustments happening? What adjustments definitely need to be made in order to get into next week?
The adjustments that need to be made is simply, I mean, you have to get that running game going. That running game has to just keep the defense on its toes. It's going to set up play action, like Jay said. It's crucial, man. I mean, Mike McDaniel that's his bread and butter, the run game. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot more from Tua and the offense as long as that running game starts to do something. I mean, like I said, those little bit of yardage from Mostert and Edmonds, this is not going to cut it against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they already have a strong front four. I feel like they're always built on that. They have a tough defense. Obviously, they held the Jets to 9 points. I know it's the Jets, but still, Baltimore's no joke. They've gave us the business time and time again. I know last year we did get them and we won, but I honestly, I know, I feel good about the win, but I'm a little scared of Baltimore, man, especially going in Baltimore. I've been in games there and watched us get smacked. I know it's a different quarterback, different situation. If there's any positivity to look at, the Jets, I see Michael Carter had 10 carries for 60 yards. Breece Hall had 6 carries for 23 yards. They ran 17 times. They got 83 yards. 4.9 average. Maybe we can do better. I think we have a better rushing attack than the New York Jets. Obviously, those young guys are pretty good, but that's something to look forward to. But Lamar Jackson is a problem, man. He had 3 touchdowns today. They have their home opener next week against us. That crowd's going to be going, and adjustments need to be made because it wasn't pretty. Like I said, 3 points in the second half. I felt like we should have smacked this Patriots team by so much more. And because of that, I'm not so excited, but I'll take the damn win. I love that we won. I feel good, but I don't feel great. And when you're going on the road to take on this Baltimore Ravens team, I want it to feel great. So I'm a little bit on edge, but I mean, let's see how it goes. Let's just see.
I mean, this game should have been when they were up 17-0 after you put a dagger into that first half with that Jaylen Waddle touchdown and an amazing play call, a great throw by Tua, a great run after the catch by Waddle. After that, you need to come out of the half and go up 24-0. Like that, there are things that need to be fixed. And look, I'm very critical of the Dolphins. I'm very critical of Tua. Of course, I was campaigning for Mike McDaniel to become the head coach. I almost tweeted out this morning just saying, like, remember when Kellen Moore was almost our head coach? Like, everything needed to be better in that second half, but at the end of the day, at least it's a win, and hopefully they do improve. It's a rough slate of the next 3 games. They need to come away, in my opinion, 2-2. We had a discussion about that last week on Tuesday. There'll be another discussion about the Dolphins this week on Tuesday. So it'll be tough and it'll be rough. But Jay, I know you're probably looking at the same stuff as me right now. Evan McPherson lining up for a 29-yard field goal, which he shaped, by the way. That is... Wow, the Steelers and Bengals don't want to win. High snap, and Evan McPherson just shanked the shit.
Can we get a tie
Out of that kick? Wow.
Yeah, tie would be fire, actually, for the standings. That'd be sweet.
The standings, it's week 1, guys. Come on here, Jay.
Hey, I'll take any.
The AFC is
They
gonna
matter
be...
at the end, bro. I'll take them all.
Well, yeah, we will take them all. That was a super high snap, and that kick was just ridiculously bad. Indy somehow went into overtime with Houston. Jacksonville lost to the Commanders, and everything's going crazy right now in the NFL. Jay, specifically with Tua, just to get into things with Tua going into next week, and then I'm going to ask about the head coach and a thing after that. Specifically with him, what are the things that you saw in the second half or the first half that you liked, and some things that he needs to improve going into next week?
Okay, like I talked about before, I really liked his throws over the intermediate part of the field, especially down the middle, just because that's where he struggled a lot last year. I thought there was some improvement there, obviously hitting Waddle on those couple of throws. I do think the one thing he needs to clean up, again, we've talked about the one bad throw a game. Also, the throwing on the run, I thought we saw some improvements of that in camp and during the preseason. Dude, I don't know. There was like 2 throws where it was just in the dirt, and I was like, what happened there? Like, genuinely, what happened? Because I'm a Tua guy. We saw him make the throws in training camp and all this stuff. Like, I was just very surprised to see it kind of just fall out of his hand. It was really weird. Obviously, there's one play that's kind of going viral where it got touched by Matt Judon, which I'm not worried about that. But there's a couple throws on the run where I was like, what happened there? Like, genuinely, like, what happened with the mechanics? What happened with it? Just felt like it fell out of his hand. So I would just say clean up those 1 or 2 bad throws a game. And I really liked his throws over the intermediate part of the field today.
From the coaching point of view, Alex, there were some ballsy calls. There were some calls where you're sitting there wondering what the hell just happened. What does Mike need to clean up next week?
So I think Mike, the only thing he needs to clean up is I think he needs to know when he's got to milk some clock, because I think he trusts Tua to get these completions and keep the clock running. But I'm blanking on it now. But there was a moment when we were up where we did pass, first down, second down, and I understand that the run game wasn't having its greatest showing, especially after Austin Jackson went down, and then I think Greg Little was playing hurt for a large part of the game, which is concerning for sure. But I think Mike needs to know when there's a time to be a little bit less aggressive. He was ultra aggressive to me today. I mean, 4th and 7 was, I mean, that's a big moment. I mean, last year we pumped that ball, and I don't think there's any disagreeing there. Like last year, they do not take that chance.
And it's a horrible punt last year as well.
100%. By the way, shout out punting today.
Morstead.
Special teams in general.
Yo,
Special teams
really
in general.
quick. I'm cutting out, or I'm cutting in here, but yes, shout out to that, especially considering the snaps were horrible.
Absolutely
the snaps were horrible, and to get that punt off, to get those punts off, was very, very good. And the Colts also just shanked a kick.
Wow,
Alex, on to you.
Is it weird for me to say this? I'm a little bit happy that we did not play a perfect football game today, and we still absolutely manhandled the Patriots. Here's the other thing I want to say. Xavien Howard is still the best damn corner in the National Football League. After what you just saw Jaylen Ramsey do, that's not happening over here, bro. How many times did Mac Jones go at Xavien Howard for a stupid-ass reason? I don't even know why he looked at that side of the field. The one to Devontae in the end zone, we know Devontae Parker stinks. We know that wasn't a pass interference. That was BS. Should have been our ball. That's the only time they scored today. I'm very happy with the defense. On the coaching side, I do think there's points in time where Mike can maybe milk the clock a little bit, but hey, he's a young coach. He's in a moment right now. I think he sees an opportunity. And I hate to say this, but I think a lot of times Mike thinks through the lens of Tua, trying to get him confidence, trying to get him playing his best football. There were some moments today where Tua's pocket presence looked a lot like Tannehill's. Tua is usually an above average pocket presence type of quarterback. He's a guy that I usually look at his pocket presence and say that's not going to be a problem today. It was a little bit of a problem today. I thought the offensive line actually did a decent enough job giving him time. A lot of times where he threw out of those sacks way too late when there was already kind of hands on him. I think Tua needs to learn that once there are hands on him, just because of his physical stature, he's going to go down. So you got to make a decision before somebody puts his hands on you, because there was a couple of times where someone was already dragging him down to the ground and he was trying to kind of let that thing kind of flop out. And there's going to be times where that's a fumble and not an incompletion. Like there were a couple times today. Obviously, Tyreek saved him on an interception. But for Mike McDaniel, man, there were a couple plays that did not work out where I saw like double, triple reverses, faking a reverse, then going to the outside. This man is creative. We're seeing it. And I'm just happy we were able to move the ball. And the unsung hero of the game for me, I don't know if y'all have talked about this already, Melvin Ingram was him today. Absolutely unstoppable in every facet of the game. Yes, he got the scoop and score, but he was unblockable all game. He was fantastic. But I was really impressive with Mike McDaniel's debut. I'd like him to milk the clock a little bit more, but overall, I think he did a great job.
Nando, you shook your head there with the offensive line when the comment was brought up by Royal. The offensive line was still a little bit shaky, and I do want to put in here just before we get into the Dolphins offensive line, former Dolphins offensive lineman. Geez, today has been a rookie debut for all of us. John Harbaugh said that Jawan James tore his ACL, so former Miami Dolphins Jawan James will not be in that game next week. Nando, the offensive line. 3 offensive line injuries. Teron Armstead came back, thank God, but it is definitely something to worry about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this offensive line is already something that all of us have been talking about all preseason, all training camp. We're shaky on it. We're stressing about it ever since God knows how long. I mean, listen, I'm not even going to go down that route, but I was really worried. First of all, the beginning of the game, Connor Williams, I did not like that high snap to begin the game. I did not like him, giving up that sack that led to a fumble. Thankfully, he recovered it. That already had me on, shaky. Austin Jackson went down. That had me stressed out. And this is like a thin offensive line. So whenever you see guys go down, it worries me. And it's worrisome, especially because our guys, even our starters, aren't that good. Obviously, Teron Armstead, Robert Hunt, those are the only guys that I'm really, really happy about. Even though, in my opinion, I don't think the offensive line played great from the right side of the line. Thankfully, Teron Armstead came back. I did like what I saw from him, but I felt like there was just constant pressure. I mean, Tua only got sacked 3 times, but there was a lot of times where he threw the ball away. And obviously, the other issues that we saw. But the offensive line has got to play better. And I just feel like it's still work in progress, but we've been saying this for so long. Like the offensive line is still, like Royal said, it's trash, man. I mean, the only guy you can honestly trust there 100% is Teron Armstead. And then we know his injury issues that can lead up at, any time. Thankfully, he came back today. But, I mean, Connor Williams, I mean, the snaps, the fumble that could have been worse. I mean, can you imagine the Patriots get that ball there? It's just the offensive line. I feel like this is going to be an ongoing thing. I mean, we're so numb and used to it at this point, but they better get it going, especially against Baltimore.
Speaking of the AFC North, Chris Boswell just missed a 55-yard
He
attempt.
missed. Sorry,
Are
you're
you
like 2 days
kidding
ahead of
me?
me. Oh my god, he missed again.
Time.
Oh
We're
my
gonna get a
god,
tie in that game. I have the
So
under in that
it
game.
hits,
Listen.
it hit the uprights. So this is
That's huge for standings down. Anyway,
You love, you want everything is huge. Overreaction
bro.
week one. Week
It
one
is overreaction.
Hey, these games will matter when we get closer
We're not
towards the
allowed.
end.
You're not allowed to tell me how tough the AFC is for the whole offseason. Everyone says that, but not
right.
say that this matters. This will matter.
Yes.
So that's why.
By the
I'm
way,
hyped for it.
it's
are
week
right.
one, man.
Not to harp on Mac Jones, but did y'all see him talking shit to Agba? Did y'all see that?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That made me sick. Can we stop? I tweeted this earlier, bro. Can we stop with the love affair with the Patriots? Brady walked out the door. You don't have to push the agenda anymore, man. The media and the refs, have they just not realized that he's not there anymore? You don't have to give it to them anymore, man. I thought the Patriots got a majority of the calls today. Again, all these Patriot fans complain about the X with the jersey grab. Like, have you ever watched football before? That happens on every single play. I couldn't believe it. It was a great game, man. We did not play perfect at all by any stretch of the imagination. We didn't play perfect. Tua didn't play perfect. He could play a lot better. But, man, Chase Edmonds, too, by the way, he looked really shifty today. I think he's obviously running back one. I thought we'd have more of a committee today, to be honest with you. Did we even see Gaskin? Did we see anybody else besides those two all game? So that was interesting to me. And the tight end position today was pretty much obsolete. That was another pretty surprising thing to me today. Did Tua target any of the tight ends? I think he targeted Smythe once.
Smythe had one 14-yard catch. Gesicki had one 2-yard catch.
And I know Gesicki caught a pass and he got smoked right afterwards. So by the way,
trade Mike. Honestly,
Mike Gesicki
Dude, he looked like he wanted to
start,
kill
bro.
himself. Sorry, not to go crazy, but he looked very not happy.
trade him. Honestly, we should have traded him before the preseason was over. And
When Gesicki got that false start, I was like, get this dude back on the bench. This just can't be happening right now. How does Hunter Long know the snap count before you do, my man? I'm rooting for you, but Jesus.
I just before the next question, I just want to say shout out to all the Patriot fans that attended Hard Rock Stadium today. Enjoy that L, enjoy the flight back to New England or wherever the hell you got to go to, and just hold that L because it's a new era. Tua is here, 4-0 against you bums. Thank you for staying in Miami, but get the hell out now.
Mikey McD, baby. Welcome to the Mike McDaniel era. We're 1-0, baby. Oh.
Say something else. Yeah, you looked like you were about to go on a speech.
Keep going.
No, I was just talking about Mike McDaniel, man. We're 1-0. Hopefully we can keep staying undefeated. Man, this first 4-game test, we're talking about how we want to see what we like, kind of what Tua is about, what this offense is about. By game 4 of this year, we will know exactly who this team is. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. Justin Jefferson already scored a touchdown, by the way.
That's
By
why
the
I was
way,
fist
the
bumping.
Bengals today, that
3
was the
receptions,
game
47
that
and a touchdown.
the Bengals were a game I circled week 4 as a very tough matchup for us. That offensive line looks no better today. And I understand that it's the Steelers front 7. It's elite. And I hope TJ Watt didn't tear his pec, by the way. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that looks really bad for him. But in terms of the Bengals offensive line, that looks no better than it did last year. Tons of miscommunication. And the biggest thing that I saw, the Bengals corners do not look like the players they were during the playoffs last year. They were dominating last year. They don't look like that. So I don't know, man. I'm looking at the Bengals and I'm looking at the Ravens game and I'm looking at game 1.
It's got to be one of those two because it won't be the
You got to
Bills.
win one of them. I hope we beat Buffalo, but they looked way too good on Thursday. I can't even lie to you.
Buffalo
They
looked
didn't miss a beat.
dominant.
Josh
I
Allen.
mean, JMV, if you want to talk about the next few, and then we'll actually before that, we want to thank and bring some love to our sponsors, CFIA Insurance, Simple Health Advisors. They are the primary sponsor here of the Basement Sports Network. Insurance doesn't need to be complicated. It just doesn't, man. Like, insurance can be hard. I've said it multiple times before. I've had horrible interactions with people in insurance, and it's always been something difficult. They make it easy for you. You can call them at 321-345-7738 or email them at jpo@simplehealthadvisors.com. You know, I
Got
think
it
I
right.
got it there right,
You did.
Royal A.
You did.
Shepherd. So you know what? Here is the good thing for us. JMV, next opponent. We'll focus just on the next opponent. We'll talk about it a little bit and then we'll get out of here because we will have a recap show to talk about things more in depth and to look forward to next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. So make sure you guys are here for that. What are you looking forward to next week in the Ravens? What's one thing that the Ravens can do that you think will hurt the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, run from running back and quarterback that's the only way they're going to kill us. Listen, I don't know if you saw I don't know if any of you guys saw the Baltimore game. Those receivers were not getting a ton of separation aside from a miscommunication from the secondary. Bateman got wide open. Great pass by Lamar Jackson. And there was one throw in the middle of the field where the linebackers were eating ass. I don't know what they were doing. And it was like a 22-yard completion. Aside from that, those receivers were not getting separation. I'm not too worried about the passing game when it comes to Baltimore next week. But we need to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. If Lamar Jackson gets loose in the open field, it's a problem all game. He needs to stay in the pocket, much like we did last year, force him to be a pocket passer. And that's where the mistakes will happen.
I can't even believe that the Colts and the Texans are about to tie. So that's why my mind is racing somewhere else.
So we got two ties?
We might. It's literally the ball at the 8-yard line, 6-yard line, 2nd and 9 with 2 seconds left. It looks like that's going to end up being a tie, which is insane to even think about.
Wow.
Jay,
let me this hat on to everybody on the panel. We all agree Greg Little was garbage at right tackle, right? All right.
He was also hurt.
He got hurt. Robert Jones at right tackle. Robert Hunt at right tackle and Robert Jones at right guard looked much better than at the beginning of the game when Austin Jackson was there. So if Austin Jackson gets hurt, I know we want to give him a shot in year 3. But if he does go down, I think that should be our secondary option to slide Robert Hunt to the right side and put Robert Jones in at right guard. It looked much better. Connor Williams allowed a lot of pressure through the middle. He's got to clean that up.
100%.
Yeah, Jay, next week, I'm going to ask an alternative question. One thing that the Ravens have that is making you lick your chops, making you sit there thinking to yourself, oh, we're going to expose the living hell out of this.
Oh, I don't know, because their team overall is pretty decent, honestly. When I look at their offense, they do have a decent offensive line. They have good running backs. If J.K. Dobbins is healthy, obviously you know what Lamar can do. I'll be honest, if I was looking at anything, it'd be the receiving core. I know we don't have Byron Jones, but I do think our corners can clamp up on them. Devin Duvernay and James Prochet are literally their 2 receivers after Rashad Bateman. I can respect and I like Rashad Bateman, but when Devin Duvernay is your second receiver, who did have a good game today, but he's more of a return guy, shifty guy, I just think we can eat on that. We can really be able to use our zero blitz, maybe get some pressure on the quarterback, which we'll need to, obviously, with Lamar Jackson. So I think that's kind of their worst part of their team, because on defense, man, they are very, very good. Obviously, at the inside backer position, people expected more of Patrick Queen, but I still like him as a player, so we'll see what he can do. But to me, it's their receiver, so hopefully our corners can eat it up a little bit, because I'll be honest, Nick Needham kind of scared me today. He looked slow. He didn't look great.
He looked
like
very
he didn't attack
slow,
the ball at the apex. He looked slow. Like it wasn't great. He was getting mossed too, man. Even when he was sticking with them on coverage. So that was really unfortunate. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. So to me, it's like get Nick Needham on one of those James Prochet, Devin Duvernay type players, and let Xavien just cover Rashad Bateman, and we should be good to go. So that's where I'm licking my chops, at least on the Ravens, because other than their wide receiving core, man, they're a very good team.
I mean, Bateman had a great game today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is the Jets, but they were also kind of with the Jets. So it is a little odd there.
Kai, I don't know who the fuck number 9 is for Green Bay, but he just had a wide open touchdown on the first play of the game and dropped that shit.
Romeo Dobbs?
I think that's the rookie. I think that's the rookie y'all drafted round 1.
All of them are fucking rookies. Pack their ass up.
We'll see you Christmas, Royal. Tyreek Hill ain't dropping that shit. I can tell you that for sure.
He also the only motherfucker on your team getting a target, too.
Man, it's tossing out L's, bro. This is a new era. I don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all are down 7-0, bro. Are you kidding me? You guys allowed our first points in the game more than we allowed the whole game. It is the Dolphin era, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get it twisted anymore. This is Mike McDaniel's team. Tua looked mid today. We won by like 3 scores, bro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you told me we were going to win by damn near 3 scores, I would have told you Tua had a perfect game. And we played, honestly, pretty mid. And I know the Patriots are going to be terrible, but still. We'll see you Christmas. It's going to happen. This is a new team. This could not have been a better start to the year, man. We can play so much better than we did today, and we absolutely blew the living crap out of the Patriots. So awesome.
Nando, I'll ask you the final question here. Just what you're seeing that the Dolphins will be able to, I guess, work for them and their offense next week, and then we'll get ourselves out of here.
Man, I'm going to this game next week, so I am taking the trip to Baltimore, so I'll be in attendance. My thoughts is just like I said, man, you gotta keep that. You gotta get the offense going with the running game. That I think it'll open up everything. But I'm more concerned, like I said. I mean, Lamar Jackson only had 17 yards rushing today, so I don't know if because he's trying to get that money, he's probably playing a little bit more cautious than the years before. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, the jury's still out on that, so we'll be able to see. But I think if like everyone said, I mean, if we're able to make Lamar Jackson a thrower, I like our chances. I like Xavien Howard being out there. I don't like their receiving core. I'm only worried about their rushing attack, and I'm worried about Andrews. I mean, that's still his favorite target, Lamar's favorite target. He had 7 targets today, had 52 yards, no touchdowns, but that's going to be a guy that is probably going to get a lot of targets against the Dolphins defense. So I'm just looking forward to containing that and containing the run game. I mean, if Lamar Jackson is going to get 17 yards again like he did against the damn Jets, I'll take that all day, and I like our chances there. I don't know if Dobbins is going to be back, but that'll be huge if he's back. Kenyon Drake had 11 carries for 31 yards. Ain't nobody worried about Kenyon Drake. I mean, come on now. Listen, I like this is going to be a close game. I'm nervous, though. I'm more nervous than optimistic. But I do love the optimism from my guy, Alex, here today. I mean, shout out to Alex, man. This guy he's giving me so much hope going into the next week.
Yeah, Alex is Team Homer. Him and JMV should link up and find a way so that they can hang out with each other in the future. We're going to head out here. This has been the post-game show. The Dolphins win 20-7. It should have been by so much more, but a win is a win. We go into Baltimore next week. Again, make sure to check out the show that we will have on Tuesday at 7 p.m. You'll be able to tune into that and see a lot of the familiar faces. But for now, I am Kaichan Chisholm. Everyone here around me, you got Jay, Nando, JMV, and of course, Alex. Play the video, Royal.